in here. Are you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
How are you guys enjoying the air conditioning?
It's, as you would imagine, a really significant added value, yeah. I think we've had a really good preseason so far. And I get it, we're undefeated and we haven't put a starting lineup out. You know, everyone's hopes and dreams are intact. But the quality of training has been really good, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the environment is much more conducive to performance than it was before. It's nice not to dread coming in here because of the heat. You want to get in here because it's so pleasant. There you go. Words that haven't been used to describe the PAV in August deadline.
How bad was it in here on the worst days?
Yeah, it wasn't fun. I mean, it wasn't quite a sauna, but I mean, you were worried about sweat on the floor. You were worried about injuries. You had to really monitor workload, and you had to worry a lot about fatigue. And you know, it's hard enough trying to do the work that you need to do without having to add that extra layer of extreme temperatures to go with it. So yeah, it's a big advantage now to be at a more temperate climate. Yeah.
Can you practice longer now?
No, I just think the quality. I mean, we could, yeah, sure, but I just think the quality of the reps. For example, we've just done a pretty good stretch here 5 days in a row, and we've managed the load really well, I think. But the quality of every practice has been exceptional.
Is that part of the recruiting pitch now? Like, look how good we were when we were just trying not to slip on the sweat all over the floor. Like,
well, no. As with every program, we're just trying to eliminate all the barriers to improvement that we can, because it's tough trying to become the best you can be, and it's even tougher when it's 98 degrees in here or whatever. But yeah, it's worked out really well. We're happy with it.
You've always been committed to this building with all of the other enhancements, the public ones as well as the ones for the team. How does that improve the overall experience for everybody?
Well, I mean, I don't know about for everyone, right? I can't speak for them, but I just think for our athletes, obviously the temperature one thing, but this performance center behind us that's close to completion, all of it, it's remarkable. We're extremely fortunate to be able to play in a place like this, to have the facilities that we have, to have the fan base that we have. Yeah, it's a great thing to be a part of.
What's this team's hunger level like right now, especially for the girls that are back after the wait last year ended?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the body of work pretty good, but we would like to finish a little stronger, and I think you can speak to them perhaps more about that, but I think if their commitment to improvement is shown by the way they've been training, then they seem to be very committed. Yeah, they're doing a nice job. And, as I said last year, in this job, if you're going to live in the arena, sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose. But the idea that somehow, 27-4 is going to be a season that comes up short, I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that describes the body of work. It was a great season, and we're hoping to try to put another one together.
You returned a lot of girls from last year, but you have one notable loss, Samantha. How's the team doing to replace that? Obviously, a big hole from.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Sam was a big part of this program, and she had a wonderful career here. And I don't really talk about replacing. It's more about just filling those spaces. And there's lots of things that we've done. I think first of all, the setters that are here are doing a really good job. They can set, so that helps. In addition, I think our first contacts continue to improve, and I think Sam could really create out of system. I think we're out of system a little bit less, but also our hitters I think are doing much better at getting to the ball and being able to hit the ball with range, so that they don't need a perfect set to be a good hitter. They can take anything out there and try to make something happen. I think so. There's a cumulative compensation, I guess, across the board, and we'll miss Sam, and we certainly wish her all the best, and it was great to have her here. But the thing about college sport is there's always the next year and a new team, and that's where our focus lies now.
What's the biggest thing you lose with her gone?
I just think her ability to create in system and out of system was unparalleled. I mean, she's a really good setter, I mean, there were some other parts to her game that were great. She could serve, and she did a bunch of other things on the defensive end, but just her ability to set was really impressive. But again, it's not like these kids we got in here are chopped liver. They'll be just fine.
A fair amount of roster turnover generally. Are there particular positions or areas where you feel like the competition for playing time is particularly wide open?
Well, I think as always, competition's a part of the package, and we recruit people to that, and they understand that's part of how we we operate here. But the cool thing about this group is I think there is competition across all positions, but it's very much in the way of like, hey, we're trying to help each other get better competition. I don't think they're competing from kind of this scarcity position. I think they're just trying to, you know, help the rising tide lift all the boats. So it's a good environment in that regard. But you know, Steph's obviously done a nice job on the right side, but now Irie's able to get over there and do some things over on the right. So that's got Steph's attention a little bit, and the outside hitters are all battling at a nice level. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of good things happening. But I don't think at any point does anyone feel like they're anxious about starting jobs or playing time or whatever. I think just right now everyone's enjoying the fact that we're playing such good volleyball.
When you're talking about filling holes and you're able to do that with a couple of transfers, I mean, how much does that help getting, I'll say, somebody from UCLA that, you know, has that kind of pedigree that knows, you know, what high-level play is? Sure,
yeah, it helps a ton, no doubt. We were fortunate to have Kylie join us. So yeah, you know, we'll see how it plays out.
When you say training's been good, why do you say that? What stood out? What's impressed you?
Well, I just think the preseason thing, you kind of go from 0 to 60. You know, you get in here, and other sports maybe you've got a bigger window to ramp up for your first match. But for us, our preseason matches are a big part of our RPI equation, and so we have to hit the ground running weekend one. There's no kind of warm up to compete. You've got to go, and so to that end, you know, 2.5 weeks really is what we get. So there's a lot of volume, and you've got to balance that kind of, you know, implementation of skills and systems with fatigue and figuring out how to get on that razor's edge. And we've got a lot of technology to help drive those decisions for us. But as I said, right, the quality of training, just the work rate, the level of execution, the effort, all those things have been in place, and that's all you can ask for at this point.
Does that come from just having a really experienced team mostly, or are there other things that go into that?
Yeah, I think so. I think this group so far, you know, they're not just talking about things, they're living the words, not just saying them. So I think that's been good.
You mentioned Irie, like how has she fit in? How are you?
Yeah, I mean, she's an outside hitter, but she's also able to swing over on the right side and do a few things. She's got a great volleyball IQ. And that's another thing that I think's been a hallmark of this group. I think just overall the volleyball IQ of the team is good, really. You know, so there are just lots of good plays that get made. So it's kind of a fun gym to be in. You know, not too many soul crushers.
You had a couple athletes compete for Team USA over the summer. Do you see them mature at all once they got back in the gym, both on the court or off the court?
Yeah, I think those are good growth opportunities. That's why we're so supportive of them going out and getting on those trips and getting on those teams. You know, you could ask them more directly about how they felt those were opportunities for growth for them. But we think it's absolutely in line with what we're about. You know, people want to come here to be good in college, but they also, many of them have aspirations to go on beyond to play professionally or play with the national team. So, you know, helping them be a part of the USA program during college, I think, helps them to that end.
When your season ends earlier than you maybe hoped a year ago, is that something that you try to use as motivation? Do you address that? Or would it be overplaying to say that there's maybe some motivation there for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, again, I get it. The expectations are high, and we're trying to be the best in the country and all that stuff. But, you know, Sweet 16 wasn't enough for everybody, I guess. So would have Elite 8, you know, I mean, relative to, I mean, over the last 4 years, you know, in the Big Ten, Nebraska and ourselves have had a record of 69 and 11, right? So, you know, in this building, I don't know what it's been in the last 4 years. We're 63 and 3 or 62 and 3. I don't know. I mean, so yeah, I get it. You know, we're trying to be really, really good, and I think we are really, really good. And when you get to the Sweet 16, and there are really good teams playing volleyball, sometimes you're going to lose one. And so for us to be focused on that match. Doesn't, to me anyway, doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, it stings, of course, but it would have stung more not to make the tournament. It would have stung more to lose in the first round. It would have stung more to not win the Big Ten. I mean, there's still lots of things that were going on that were pretty good. So it didn't feel like it was broken. I just think what happens is tournaments here, a lot of hype. You guys, you know, did your share with that, and that's good, right? I mean, it's in our backyard, and volleyball's important in this area. Everybody had their hopes high, and they should have. You know, it was okay to dream big dreams with that team, and, you know, it didn't work out. So you get your heart broke a little bit, but that doesn't mean that somehow, you know, we farmed it. Yeah.